I talk and you don't. Generally. It's only for a very short time, usually about 10 minutes, and then it's kind of and we're looking at multiplying this one's called 3 factors, 3 or more factors. Which, for example, means, let's say you have 6 times 3 times 5. Elijah, did you have a question? What's that? 6 times 3 times 5. Now, in math, we like to use some of the rules that we have in math to make life easier. By all means, you could always multiply these just the way they are. Take 6 times 3 and get 15, and then you'd have to multiply 15 times 5 to get your, whatever it is, 75. How about 18? Maybe that's something that's not right. And then multiply 18 times 5 and get whatever it is. But when you're multiplying by 3, you might as well make it as easy as possible. And because we have, you remember the commutative property? Because of the commutative property which says you can, in multiplication and in addition, you can move things around to make your life a little bit easier. If you're given these 3, what would probably be the easiest one to multiply first and probably make your multiplication easier even right on down the line? Carol?
6 times 5.
Right, so you probably want to take, I know your pencil probably can't do this, the 3, scooch it over there, move the 5 and 2 moves over here. Put the 3 over here. Because it's much easier to take 6 times 5, which you should is one of our basic math facts. You always want to end with those zeros because zeros are always easy to multiply by. And then 30 times 3 is a much easier 90. It's much easier to multiply 90 by 30 times 3. And this one's kind of a basic one, but they will get a little bit harder. What about this one? 5 times 7 times 12. Which 2 would you probably want to multiply first? And again, you got to think ahead and know a little bit there. Jillian?
5 times 5 times 7.
Well, 5 times 12 is 12 times 5. You end up with a 0 at the end, which makes it nice. You get a 60, and then you just have this 7 left to multiply by. And 60 times 7, again, is mostly mental, for the most part, which, Charlie, you get?
420.
420. Now, if you don't want to move them around, you don't really have to. But when we get to really hard math, it's probably not a bad idea to start getting used to doing that. Now, one other thing, write down this, still under multiplication, missing numbers in multiplication. Oh, look, they give us a couple different examples. By the way, this W times 3 equals 18. 3n equals 15. And 3 times n equals 24. Please make sure you understand that anytime there's this, a letter next to a number, this means multiply. Okay, 3 times n is 15, 3 times n is 24, w times 3 is 18. Guess what I'm going to tell you the first step in doing these problems is? I think we talked about it already. Maggie? Yeah, you always want to think of an easy problem. I know you probably know what to do, but again, it's something that you want to get in the habit of doing. And it's a multiplication problem, so 2 times 3 is 6. Okay, how do I, if I'm missing the top up here, how do I get that with 6 and 3? It's a division problem, right? So 6 divided by 3 is 2. So this one you're going to take 18 divided by 3 and you're going to get? 6. This one, same thing. Think of an easy multiply. 3 times 4 equals 12. If I'm missing the middle here, what do I do with 3 and 12 to get 4? What do I do with 3 and 12 to get 4? divide, so 12 divided by 3 is, 15 divided by 3 is 5. And the same thing is going to be true here. Think of an easy problem. 2 times 3 is 6. If I'm missing the middle, what do I do with 6 and 2 to get 3? Divide. So 24 divided by 3 is 8. And again, you're going to say to yourself, every time I divided there, and I'm going to say, yes, yes, you did. But it's never good to get in that habit of always thinking that that's the same thing, because guess what? When we get to division, which comes up pretty soon, that is not always the case. So you don't want to always assume that you do the same thing all the time, because you don't, and you end up singing along with Miss Shum's stuff there. You know that one?